Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. And I'm going to play a video for you. This is Warren Buffett speaking back in July 2013. I want to warn you, always be careful what you say because some things don't age very well. Let me explain. Have a listen.
Where do we go with the first one? Yeah, right here. My thoughts about Japan? I'm not a macro guy. Now I say to myself, Berkshire Hathaway can borrow money for 10 years at 1% in Japan now. 1%. And I say to myself, gee, I took Graham's class 45 years ago and I've been working hard at this thing all my life. Maybe I can earn more than 1%, if I really work hard at it. 1% annually. It doesn't seem impossible, does it? So I wouldn't want to get involved in currency risk, so I'd have to do it in something that was yen denominated. So I have to be in Japanese real estate or a Japanese business or something of the sort, and all I have to do is beat 1%. That's all the money's going to cost me, and I can get it for 10 years. So far, I haven't found anything. It's kind of interesting. The Japanese companies earn very low returns on equity, and they have a bunch of businesses that earn 4, 5, 6% on equity, and it's very hard to earn a lot as an investor when the business you're in doesn't earn very much money. Now some people do it. In fact, I've got a friend, Walter Schloss, who worked with Graham at the same time I did, and it was the first way I went at stocks, to buy stocks selling way below working capital, very cheap quantitative stocks. I call it the cigar butt approach to investing. Is that you walk down the street and you look around for a cigar butt someplace, and you see one, and it's soggy and kind of repulsive, but there's one puff left in it. So you pick it up, and the puff is free. I mean, it's a cigar butt stock. I mean, you get one free puff out of it, and then you throw it away, and you walk down the street, try to find another one. I mean, it's not elegant, but it works. If you're looking for a free puff, it works. Those are low return businesses, but time is the friend of the wonderful business. It's the enemy of the lousy business. If you're in a lousy business for a long time, you're going to get a lousy result, even if you buy it cheap. If you're in a wonderful business for a long time, even if you pay a little too much going in, you're going to get a wonderful result if you stay in a long time. I find very few wonderful businesses in Japan at present now. They may change the culture in some way so that managements get more stockholder responsive over there and returns are higher. But at the present time, you'll find a very lot of low return businesses. And that was true even when the Japanese economy was booming. I mean, it's amazing. They had an incredible market without incredible companies. They were incredible in terms of doing a lot of business, but they weren't incredible in terms of the return on equity there.
Well, I'm not so sure that is exactly all true because it was in 2008 that Warren Buffett invested in this company, Tungaloy. Actually, he bought the entire company. And Tungaloy does some amazing precision tools to cut through metal. And he was helping, I think, the HR department along when he made this video the same year that video we just watched was made.
Hello, I'm Warren Buffett, and today I have just visited an amazing company at Tungaloy. Plants are remarkable, but more important, the people are remarkable. And this company has an extraordinary future. If I were a young engineer in Japan, I think it's a company that I would love to go to work for. There's going to be a lot of opportunity. It's always a good idea to hitch yourself to a rising star. And Tungaloy is indeed a rising star. So I do encourage you, if you're a talented young engineer with real ambition, be sure to check out Tungaloy.
Wow, it is really one of those remarkable businesses. But I think talking about that kind of poo-poo for 4 and 5 and 6% returns, it probably doesn't sound so bad now because there was a $50 billion net loss from the Q1 2020 report that came out. And yesterday, the Berkshire Hathaway group actually took sizable stakes in 5 leading Japanese companies. 5. And Bloomberg analyzed the move was made because, well, he understands these businesses and he believes they are good long term businesses because of the outlook. I mean, shoot, Sumitomo, they date back to the 1600s, along with the Mitsubishi Corp and Itocho. They have more than 100 years of history. So also, they cited the talent that comes from these companies. Very, very, the best of the best that go to work for these leading companies. And he thought the price was good, obviously. But all 5 stocks today, had very, very good, strong gains. Now, there is one of them in particular, this Sumitomo Corporation, that has very strong ties to SBI. And SBI Holdings, of course, is the largest outside shareholder of Ripple. And I want to just show you just a smither of that kind of business and synergy that Sumitomo Corporation has with SBI. So the Sumitomo Corp has a lot of holding companies, 2 of which are in finance. The Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group and the Sumitomo Mitsui Trust Holdings. So when we take a look at the Trust Holdings Company, they are actually a 50% owner in the SBI Sumishin Bank. And then if we go to another kind of deal, you can see that the Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation in Japan was one of the first to join that consortium that was led by SBI Ripple Asia. And then if we continue to actually some recent deals, this one quite recent, as of August 17th, Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group took a 14% stake in the SBI R3 Japan. This was a really big deal. And equally big, this is Japan's Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group partnered with SBI for their digital banking future. And they're going to create a $1 billion fund between the 2 of them. So there is a lot happening. And when you kind of look at what was said in the past and where we are today, that video did not age well. So I want to point out that I made a couple of tweets today because there's a lot coming again from the SBI camp. So SBI VC Trade, this is the trade site for virtual currencies. Now we have integrated in for liquidity the B2C2 market maker. And I tweeted it out, and some people were like, I'm sorry, I don't know what this means. Well, we know that the biggest hurdle for XRP on-demand liquidity is liquidity. If you remember last video I did, we looked at that modern census article where Brad Garlinghouse is saying that it is for real, that the liquidity is really big issue, and they are trying to solve it. They just hired somebody from Goldman Sachs to come and do that. And I think we're going to get there, but it is without a doubt one of the big hurdles to get over. So Mr. Kitao, what he is doing here, he is greasing the corridors. I can tell you it is for sure the liquidity that B2C2 brings as a market maker and a liquidity provider. When he put that $30 million stake into their company, he is doing it to grease those wheels for SBI VC Trade. And I really think as an XRP-centric exchange, I smell some ODL coming with Vietnam and Thailand, just for starters. And then in another tweet I put out there is that I wanted him to roar loud, because yesterday's video I talked about bank number 37 that made an investment into MoneyTap, which runs on Ripple and is also going to roll out domestically and for the foreign financial institutions as well. Today, bank number 38 invested. So this is the powerful payments app, yes, that will be domestic and for overseas financial institutions. And it's improving international competitiveness with a sound principle of competition against the fees, as it was put in the announcement. Big, big stuff. I'm telling you, it's really big. So now I just kind of want to move to a part of the video for today that is pretty important. Actually, I need a little soapbox, not a tall one. If it's too tall, I won't be able to get down gracefully. So just make it small for me. Today, this is big news. Israel and the UAE signed a SWIFT banking memo of understanding. This is the first agreement ever. So it's astounding, really, for an economic agreement for these two countries when it comes to business. So I think that the rumors that SWIFT was going to end today, I have just about had it up to here, because it came from that quantum financial system rumor, which, if you research, this is a rumor that's part of a gold-backed asset that's being initiated by Russia and China to replace SWIFT, and SWIFT was supposed to go out of business as of September 1st. And it was just pure nonsense, really. This system that supposedly ran on a secret technology in a galactic site somewhere so it can't be hacked is just absurd. And I can tell you with just a little research, if you do it, this has been circulating for more than 2 years. And I want to take this opportunity to talk about my fluff because it really ties in to this situation that gets just totally out of hand when people start spreading rumors and lies and mistruths. So let me take you to this picture here. Actually, I want to take you to this picture here. And I want you to look at the big white Siberian tiger behind. Did you ever wonder why Mr. Kitao has this tiger? You know, he's a scholar of the Chinese classics. I have told you many times about that. And there is something within the Chinese culture back from the 4th century. It is what's called a 4-character idiom. And this one is san nin seiko. And what it means, if I translate it literally, is 3 people become tiger. What it really means is that when you start a rumor or you start spreading something that is not true, it often becomes misrepresented as truth. So these idioms have been used in China to teach children for centuries. And this quantum financial system situation was just really absurd. And so many people started to believe it. And I can tell you that because I had lots of comments in my comment section. And so just keep in mind that when you go back to this idiom, it talks about how there was somebody who spread the rumor that there was a tiger in the marketplace. And there's no tigers for miles and miles around. I mean, that was just impossible that there would be a tiger in the market. Yet somebody started the rumor that there was really a tiger in the market. And people didn't believe until they heard it from 3 different people. And when they heard it from 3 people, they started to believe it was true. And they started to tell people there's a tiger in the market. And so when you hear that and it starts to take on a life of its own through this communal reinforcement, it's very, very dangerous. So this is why I was very vocal about stopping that weeks ago, and it didn't stop, and it just continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I wanted to just show you, though, in some of the tweets that Mr. Kitao has put out, he uses this tiger idiom here back in what, 2014 or 16? I can't remember on that tweet. And also he talked about this in his diary. He has a really wonderful diary. If you don't know about it, I encourage you to read it because it's always very thoughtful and insightful. And because he leans so much into the Chinese classics, a lot of it is very philosophical and it makes you think hard sometimes. Anyway, that is my fluff for the day. And I think I've got a picture of, I didn't bring a picture of the actual calligraphy, did I? No. But I will tell you that the date was confirmed for September 8th, when Sam, D&I, and Mickey B. Fresh and I will be having a discussion with the Flare networks. So we can learn more about smart contracts. We can learn more about DeFi. We can learn more about the Spark token. And I'm sure I'll keep you up to date as to when that is going to actually drop in terms of a video being able to view. But I just wanted to let you know that the date was confirmed. All right, everybody. Yeah, do take care. Sayonara for now. And thank you for letting me get on that soapbox. Bye-bye.